torture them.
I felt good.
Gives you more energy.
Annette is sort of saying right now she hates her seat. You know what? She has a horrible seat. She does.
Well, she does now. I mean, she's trapped between Tom Dwan putting all the pressure on as chip leader and Andy Black liable to get involved because his chips are small. He's got to move in.
I mean, Nad was kind of saying a few matches ago that it's great to sit on the left of Tom Dwan, you know, but the thing is you have to be re-raising him a lot. And in this, right now with the way the points are, Annette's going to have to be committing a lot of her chips to be doing this re-raising, isn't she?
No, and the way the chips are, you know. Dwan can now afford to call a re-raise with a marginal hand because he can't be knocked out by anybody at the moment.
Battle of some young poker stars here. 22 versus 20. And I mean barely 22 and barely 20. I guess they start playing at age 15 these days.
What Dwan will probably do now is try to use his chip advantage to muscle her out. He can't have been calling to try and hit with this hand.
Look at that murderer's row. It's like the 7'9" Phil Hellmuth. You know, the 5'8" Tom Dwan. And the most aggressive player of the three of them, little Annette.
Now, what's Annette going to do here? She's, you know, she probably feels confident she's got the best hand. The problem for Annette here is that Andy Black is so low on chips. You know, she'd feel really daft taking the 0 points now with Andy so vulnerable. Yeah, I can understand the pass, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because even though she should have the best hand, most times she will have the best hand, if she's wrong and she goes out, you know, she's handing Andy the gift of points when he could knock himself out at any moment.
I think I got leveled.
I had a nickname for you. You know what it was?
What was it?
Duracell. You keep raising and raising and raising and raising.
It's do or die time for these six in their last heat. Will they do enough to make the final table, or will they be waving their dreams of becoming Premier League champion goodbye? Welcome back. Dwan unshackled in the lead and showing how it's done.
Oh, yeah, I did. For the series, I went.
Phil Hellmuth desperately wants the respect of Tom Dwan. He looks at Dwan, this young kid who's won millions, who plays a very different type of game to Phil, and he desperately wants the kid to revere him.
Say it, kid. Tell me. I think you're good, but you know that I'm great. Tell me. Tell me.
Hello? This is perfect for Dwan, perfect. He spent the whole tournament building up this incredibly active reputation, and here, in the last match, when everyone knows that everyone has to go for the win, he's finding big hands, and of course he gets the action.
Yeah. And this is a huge race. A huge race right now.
I've got a funk for Andy to win this hand, you know. I need Tom Dwan off this table with no points.
Andy will feel like he's been a little bit unlucky in races, and I think on balance he probably has. Now he's taken more of them than most.
Get
the jacket on, get the whole outfit ready. Good luck.
Look, I mean, this pot size, Vicky. If Black wins this, everything's pretty much back to level devils.
But if he loses this, the defending champion is out.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And out of the Premier League, not just out of this match.
I don't think I did.
Oh yeah, he's relegated if he loses this hand.
Oh, that looked like an ace.
Oh, it's a good flop for Andy.
Good start. Anyway, I feel it's coming. Good luck, everybody.
You don't want a big queen.
Jack or queen's like a good.
Now he's doing that walk
playing with all of
where
you.
he won't quite go out of the door, but he'll go near it.
Even 10 gives you a little bit of room. Whoa! 7.
That was a bluff.
Ace, king, or 7,
King or
Vicky.
7. He doesn't have many outs, Andy. How am I doing? Am I gone? Am I on my bike?
King.
Oh!
Man. It wasn't ace, Andy.
What? Gone.
Ace.
No.
Yeah.
Ace of hearts.
Ace of hearts.
Really?
This is hard.
Isn't that amazing?
He was going to tell you it was an ace.
It's actually in being knocked out, he's walked back to the table.
That's actually worse, that he actually has to walk back now
Yeah.
to find out.
Well, he got a lot of exercise out of the coup.
He is the defending champion, Vicky, and he will not be defending.
Then he doesn't believe it.
Oh, man. And, wow, the bagel for Andy Black. That is going to mean under no circumstances can he make the top 8. How strong is Dwan?
With these chips and with his knowledge that some of the others are trying to survive, he can put a hell of a lot of pressure on.
You know, basically I played ragged a bit, and that's how I played all the Premier League. You know, I've overall played ragged. You know, if I was getting a report card, I get about it. You F. Overall, that's just how it is.
And what's just happened here, Vicky? Andy Black obviously got knocked out. Everyone had to rush over to look at their point sheets to start computing, see what it meant. It hasn't. It's really changed the most things for Nenad Medic actually, as people have.
Yeah, you know what has changed for Nenad Medic? He now has to knock me out first and win the heat. It's absolutely horrible. It's going to be like having a stalker.
Everyone in that heat is going to think he's sick.
All I can hope is that Nenad gets food poisoning before the match.
You're going to have your own stalker.
But I tell you who this is a good result for as well. It's good for Tony G, because Andy was the person who was below him. Tony remains in front, and Tony actually overtakes Roland.
It might be right most of the time, but it's not in the next one, I think.
Check.
One checking the gut shot.
7,000.
Could be a check raise, of course. You know, he can afford to play a gut shot quite aggressively with his chip lead.
Cool.
No. He's trying to peel it off cheaply.
Let's say if there's one thing about Dwan, sometimes you think the hand is over and it hasn't yet begun. I mean, what?
Check.
I think Helpy may have to check it now, because if his ace high isn't good, then Dwan can have a hand that's such an easy call or raise. Newhall himself has picked up a bit of a middle pin draw.
Check.
Yeah, I think he's got to make the check.
He's playing it sensible, Vicky.
Check.
Dwan's checked this on the river.
Yeah, it's a clever check. A clever check because it's induced the bet with ace high. Yuhar knows his hands are good. Yeah, he said the 10. It was a good check.
It was brilliant.
Because you know why he checks is because he knows Yuhar doesn't have
When you
anything.
said that was quick and still we're turning him over, I figured I might be screwed.
I was surprised it was as low as 7s, but not that surprised.
No, not full.
They're talking about Andy there.
9,000 more.
Looked
man.
like he had
And
anywhere
like
from
986, I'm still fine getting it in.
Talking about that
like he had
hand that
anywhere from,
Dur won with the queens against the sevens.
Jacks there. Yeah,
Yeah, you couldn't have kings or queens really because
Cool.
yeah, didn't look
you
like
could have like
kings
ace
or
queen,
queens.
ace jack too. I don't know.
No, I would.
You can put some chips in sometimes.
Yeah, but I think it'd be more likely.
Now, what if Helmuth
Yeah.
decides
I'd
to
be by
try and
there,
fully
Tony.
Tony G with this hand? Helmuth does love an ace.
He's asked him for a countdown. Now Tony has 20 points and Phil has 19, or excuse me, 21 to
Cool.
22 to 21 is what it is. And has Tony just limped here? He has limped with the ace king.
Cool.
He just limped. Well, he was hoping, of
Apparently.
course, that
I gave you a lot of credit
one
here,
of the aggressive
Tony
players
G.
behind him would raise. Didn't happen.
Probably missed another raise.
Oh, there's the ace. So that's it. Tony G's gone in front.
Phil's got a flush draw and the ace.
Check.
I mean,
Check.
there could get a lot of money in this pot. What if Tony G is check raising here?
Pass. Pass.
I think Tony G's got to be. Well, he may just be check calling.
If you call 5, I might not bet another street, Tony.
Might just go all in. He might just
There
go
you
all
go.
in.
Wowie.
Now, you see, this is interesting. A lot of
How
players
much
in
more
this
is it?
thing would snap call with Phil's hand. Top pair in the flush draw, they want to gamble. Phil hates to play that kind of poker. He hates to call a big bet drawing.
This is just so sick. In a side game, I would have just... A side game, I wouldn't have even asked for a count. It would have been just such a huge, quick insta-call would be so sick. God, I can't believe he raised all in. That's why I bet 5 was to not get
61
raised
more.
all in. Wow.
Vicky, Phil he can call and lose and have 39,000 back. The problem is, if he goes out 5th, the Premier League is
I don't
out
suppose
of
he'd be
his
bluffing
hands.
here, huh?
He has to call. I mean, he has to call.
God, if you're bluffing, you just would be so dead, it would be scary. So sick. But then again,
Let's get the clock.
you can ask. Can you ask for a clock after 1 minute? Is that the way the rules are here, Marty?
Get the clock for him. Help him out.
If he's asking for the clock after 1 minute, then I want him to be warned. I want him to be warned so that the next time he waits 1 minute,
Marty,
he gets a
can you
penalty.
get the clock, please?
Tony is just trying to put Phil under the pressure.
I don't know if he can do that after 1 minute. I don't know if that's legal. Is that legal, Marty, for him to ask for a clock after 1 minute? Because at the World Series, they don't let you do that. Huh?
It's a beautiful maneuver from Tony. He's called for the clock. Even if Phil
It
now
hasn't been 90
passes,
seconds, so does he get a penalty?
obviously he's hoping Phil will call. Even if Phil now passes, Phil will
Okay.
be so rattled and troubled by this, it'll affect the rest of his game.